Hey, what's up, y'all? AWTM here, and I am going to break down the coming episode, which is Sistas Season 7, Episode 14. It is entitled Who Can I Run To? Now, I did do a recap on last week's episode that's available on all my platforms, so go check that out if you haven't already. While you're here, just in case you're just listening to a couple of seconds or anything, do me a favor and hit that like button. It really helps my platform and helps get these videos out here, and I truly appreciate it. You can also subscribe and follow if you want to, but I gladly appreciate any like or anything you can do. Now, in this episode entitled Who Can I Run To?, the description reads, Andy is presented with the offer to help take Gary down once and for all. Danny and Fatima can't seem to keep Karen's big news to themselves. So, with this episode being entitled Who Can I Run To?, I think this is all about friendship and testing loyalty and boundaries, especially the loyalty and boundaries between Danny and Karen. So, they have been bumping heads lately because of Danny's blooming friendship with Fatima. And we know that Fatima is Zach's current girlfriend, fiance rather. And Karen was still wanting Zach in the beginning, so this caused some friction. And she is pregnant. One of the babies or the twins that she is pregnant with is by Zach. So there's a whole bunch of tension in that situation. And Karen really feels like Danny should be loyal to her. Now, on the previous episode, we saw that Karen warned Danny not to tell anyone about the big news that she overheard because she popped up there while they were getting the paternity results. I told you guys on the last episode or the last breakdown I did that Danny is probably not going to be able to keep that information to herself. She was itching to tell someone, anyone, and I know she definitely probably will tell Andy and Sabrina, no doubt. So the episode starts off back at the precinct where Gary, Andy, and Jordan are there. It looks like Jordan and Andy kind of come up and Gary's already talking to the police. Now, there's supposed to be some kind of plan in place to take Gary down for good, and Andy is supposed to be a part of it if she makes that decision. So we'll see what happens with that. Then we get into Zach and Fatima having a serious conversation. Now, I don't know if this conversation is about the children and how will they manage the children around their work schedules and their busy lives. We know Fatima is actually in law school, so she doesn't have a lot of extra time. She's working full time. She's in law school. They have Michael, which is Zach's son from a previous relationship. He is living with them, and now there's going to be a new baby. So it looks like they're having some kind of serious discussion. I don't know if this is about finances or this could be about planning for the future and how they will delegate the responsibilities of the children and the household. Now then we see Aaron popping up on Karen at the beauty salon. Now we know he works her complete nerves. Aaron is so head over heels for Karen, but there was some other stuff going on last season where he had started dating someone, but he was saying that she didn't want him, so he didn't want to be by himself. I don't know about Aaron's character and what's really going to come out about him, but there is something that's not all the way right with him. From him being married when he initially starts talking to Karen, to his wife unaliving herself, and it's just a whole lot of with Aaron. So I can understand why Karen didn't want to get all the way involved. Plus, she still had feelings for Zach, so she wasn't going to do that anyway. But he pops up at the beauty salon, no doubt to talk to her about his role in the child's life because he wanted to be a father to the child that he didn't even think was his. But now that he has one of the twins that's his child, now he really wants to talk about it. He probably wants to talk about being with her. And I don't think Karen is really having it. I don't even think Karen ever really cared for Aaron like that, okay? So then we're going to cut over to Aaron doing another pop-up. Now, this may be he went to play basketball with Zach and the other guys like he did before, but Zach is very irritated with him. Zach does not care for Aaron. And I'm not going to say that he still has feelings like he wants to be with Karen, but her being with someone else or having someone else in her life kind of bothers him, I think. I believe it really bothers him. And he really doesn't want to admit that. And I don't even think he can admit that because Fatima would have his head. But he pops up on Zach and he probably wants to have a conversation with him about co parenting the twins. But Zach is not having it and he's really not feeling Aaron. So we'll see how that conversation goes. The next picture that we see is of Sabrina and Danny. So I think this is when Danny is actually telling Sabrina the news. I think that Fatima is going to end up telling Andy the news as well. So we'll see what happens with that. Now, Karen specifically told Danny and warned her not to tell anybody. They were already on rocky terms as far as their relationship goes. So this is going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back. So there's probably some other interesting things that are going to go on in this episode. I can't wait for it to air tomorrow. Now, I did do a breakdown, kind of a synopsis on Sabrina's love stories that she had with her different beaux throughout the seasons of Sisters. So if you're interested in that, that's available on all my platforms. I thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Make sure that you like, share, subscribe, and I will see you next time. This has been AWTM.